Good evening, Savusavu, and a very good evening from Savusavu. Welcome to the Fijian Media Association's Meet the Public and the Press Town Hall, supported by the U.S. Embassy in Fiji. I'm Stanley Simpson, editor of MyTV.
And I'm Stella Taoe, the editor for Fiji One News.
Tonight, the Fijian Media Association brings you a groundbreaking collaboration to enhance democratic discussion and discourse in the country, bringing ministers, assistant ministers, and senior government officials and the public together in areas that don't get much opportunity.
Tonight, we're honored to welcome the Assistant Minister for Public Works and Transport, Naisa Tunadeva. We acknowledge the presence of key government leaders from the North, including Divisional Planning Officer, the Divisional Police Commander, the Assistant Police Commissioner, Savusavu Town Council Special Administrators, Savusavu Town Council Acting CEO. There are a few ministers who have committed to join us via Zoom tonight.
To kick off, we'll invite the Honorable Assistant Minister for Works to give us a 3 to 5 minute overview of the ministry's current and planned projects in Fovonolevu. After his overview, we'll go straight into questions with our first segment featuring infrastructure, roads, and transport. Questions will come from the media to be followed by questions from the public. If you have a question on this topic, we'll invite you to join the line behind the journalists. We'll spend about 15 to 20 minutes unpacking your concerns before we move on to other key issues tonight, including health, crime, safety, and tourism. For those watching on the Fijian Media Association live streams on FBC, Fiji TV, Fiji Village, MyTV, Fiji Live, Fiji Times, and Fiji Sun, please do state your questions in the comments and feedback, and we'll try to include you where we can.
We thank you, Fiji, for joining in from your homes to listen, discuss, and hopefully find solutions to find many issues we face here in Savusavu and across the nation. We now invite the Assistant Minister to give their overview, his overview and his respective ministry.
Honorable Stanley, firstly, I just want to say Bulavinaka to everyone, those that are here in this room, and those that are watching this live broadcast tonight. I also wanted to acknowledge the Fijian Media Association for coordinating this important program. Let me say that on behalf of the Honorable Minister Tuisawau, we are indeed honored and joy to be here this evening to be part of this great event, meeting the public and the press. As the Assistant Minister for Public Works, Meteorological Services and Transport, I am grateful for the chance to speak directly with members of the public and through the media to the people of Fiji. And I genuinely welcome this opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, as mentioned by Stanley, we want to keep this session interactive, meaningful, and make sense. So to start off, allow me to make this brief presentation. When we talk about the national infrastructure development and maintenance strategies, including roads and bridges across Fiji, the ministry through the Fiji Roads Authority, FRA, continues to implement a robust and a forward-looking infrastructure development and maintenance strategy aimed at improving road access, ensuring public safety, and building climate-resilient infrastructure. So the key initiatives that are currently being rolled out by the ministries right now are the Rural Roads Upgrade Initiative, which focuses on enhancing connectivity for remote and underserved communities, the Bridge Replacement Program, and also the nationwide routine and periodic maintenance program contracts for major highways and urban corridors. In addition to ongoing infrastructure works, the ministry will soon undertake a comprehensive review of the National Infrastructure Investment Plan, NIIP, in close collaboration with stakeholders, development partners, and implementing agencies. And the whole idea here is to improve our infrastructure and our public works area. In the government plans for improving public transport reliability and safety standard nationwide, ladies and gentlemen, as part of the reform, the ministry is currently reviewing the taxi framework with plans to transition back to base and a stand system. This move is intended to enhance passenger safety, reduce driver dispute, improve accountability, and restore predictability and efficient taxi operations in the country. The public consultation have been undertaken, and a proposed legislative reform are being prepared in consultation with the Office of the Solicitor General. So in partnership with LTA, the ministry is also addressing vehicle roadworthiness and driver competence This includes enhanced enforcement of vehicle fitness program, inspection, and strengthening of driver licensing requirements, and introducing compulsory customer service and safety training for public transport drivers. The update of maritime transport services and strategies to enhance connectivity. The shipping franchise scheme remains the government's flagship in this area, and initiatives for ensuring the maritime connectivity to remote and uneconomical routes. In addition, the Cabinet has also approved a joint review of the Ministry and the Maritime Safety Authority of Fiji on this MSF program of key maritime legislation, including the Maritime Transport Act 2013, the Ship Registration Act, and the MSF Act 2009. For the nationwide concerns on the effectiveness and efficiencies of rural infrastructure maintenance through FRA's decentralized maintenance contracts and engagement of community-based contractors, the Ministry is ensuring faster response times and improved accountability for rural infrastructure upkeep. This model empowers communities while creating local employment and opportunities. FRA is also developing mobile monitoring application to enable faster reporting and tracking of maintenance needs across our rural areas. Talking about upgrades and modernization of plans for the Fiji meteorological services to improve disaster preparedness and response capabilities, Fiji Met Services is implementing its strategic modernization plan, which includes upgrading its radar system and expanding automatic weather stations, digitizing forecast platforms, and enhancing training for forecasters. On the Ministry initiatives towards national climate resilience and disaster mitigation, the Ministry is spearheading the development of Fiji's transport decarbonization implementation strategy, a key component of the country's broader climate mitigation efforts. So the strategy encompasses the introduction of the electric vehicle, improved fuel efficiency for public and private fleets, low emission infrastructure design, and a vehicle replacement policy. On the national strategies for transport safety compliance and enforcement, addressing public concerns on road safety remains a top priority for the Ministry, and as part of its commitment, the Ministry is currently leading development of Fiji's National Road Safety Action Plan. Thank you, Stanley.
Naka, great overview. Now we take the questions. To start things off, Ivan Nataro from the Fiji Sun will ask the first question, and can we get the people with questions to Mr. Townhall to please start lining up to give your questions. Over to you, Eva. Please introduce yourselves, where you're from, and then ask your question.
Yeah, Bulasi'a, Bulanakwa. My name is Eva Nataro. I'm an investigative journalist at the Fiji Sun. My question is based on the 300 million grant for the Vanuatu road projects. The announcement was done around October last year. It's almost a year. Nothing has been done. Minister for Public Works and Transport, Rofilipe Tuisewau, had made a statement in Parliament in April. He stated that feasibility study has been completed and tender has been put out. What I'd like to ask is, what was the result of that feasibility study? What's the update on the tender? And how soon can the people of Vanuatu see this project commence?
Naka, it's a good question, a great one. This 300 million road, the new road, the one that we've been talking about, this is a Chinese aid program, as you know. Now, what was mentioned by the minister then, that all the preparatory work, including the normal process that takes place when awaiting such project to begin. So at this stage, because it is a Chinese Fiji government aided program, it is with the Prime Minister's office right now. I know that we are all waiting for that, and we are hoping that the groundwork will start very, very soon, hopefully before the end of this year. But all I can say at this stage, that the program is now with the minister, the Prime Minister, because it is a program or a project undertaken by the Chinese government in collaboration with the Office of the Prime Minister.
Vijay?
Thank you, Assistant Minister. My name is Vijay Narai. I'm the Director of Communications.
I think you move closer to the mic.
So my question in relation to the issue that you're saying, that it's still caught up with bureaucracy. The agreement was signed off last year. How long does it take for things to move?
Yeah, Vijay, yeah, normally in this kind of work, there's a bit of process. You are true in saying that some of these tapes and bureaucracy that take place, yes, I think we've gone past most of those. And like I said, it's currently sitting with the Prime Minister's office, and we will be seeing something happening very, very soon.
Thank you. We'll get Reggie. Who else has questions? Can we start lining up? As soon as the Minister starts answering his question, please line the people up who will be coming in afterwards to get the question, especially from the Savusavu public. We want to start hearing from you soon. If you have a question, please, you need to join the line. Yeah, thank you. Hold on.
Honorable Minister.
Yeah.
Honorable Minister, my question is, there is an ongoing issue of illegal operations and pirate taxis and carriers in Savusavu. Operators during our town visit today have raised serious concerns, stating that their calls are falling on deaf ears. What assurance, sir, can you, as the Assistant Minister and also as the former LTA CEO, give to these operators in terms of addressing these issues? Naka.
Yeah, Vinaka, for that question, anything to do with illegal, illegal work, illegal operations, like you said, it becomes an enforcement issue. We have the LTA people here. We also have the police here, and I think they need to look into that now. Maybe one of them can respond to that, the case in Savusavu. But I can also assure you that you've heard sometimes back on government's intention to, legalize some of these private cars that are doing illegal work, illegal operations, normally called it illegal operating. Maybe Vijay, Stanley, somebody from LTA or the police would like to expand on that.
Yeah, can someone from the relevant ministry, relevant LTA, please come through? Come here. I have seen some discussions on some of the Savusavu pages talking about that some of the legal transport are not providing services at nights, and therefore
These people are coming
allowing this, but it's illegal,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
what's the
Yeah.
situation?
Shiloma.
Bye.
We are all aware of the concerns that has been raised in regards to the illegal operations, and we take matters seriously. And we have certain procedures which need to be aligned with our process so that we can take that up for them to appear for the appropriate action that will be taken in regards to the law.
Stanley, can I just add on to that? The question raised by that, I'm not sure whether that's coming from the association taxi or the carriers, but one thing is very clear. The increase in the illegal, sometimes because of the lack of service being provided to the public, okay? I know that most of these, they happen in the night when most of the illegal, those who are supposed to be providing the public service, are not coming forth to provide the service. In this case, if that is happening in Savusavu, then it's the same everywhere in Fiji. It's sort of pushes the illegal activities to increase just because those that have the license, supposed to be providing the public service, are not doing so. I hope that's not the case in the question coming, Stanley.
Thank you. Can we have a question from public? Please introduce yourself and your question.
Minister, my name's Aaron Nunning. I've been a resident here for 33 years, and I'm involved in land development and in real estate investment. Many foreign investors, we've encouraged them to invest into the Savusavu community. What I'd like to bring up is about 20 years ago, Councillor Robin Irwin from Savusavu stood for Parliament as an independent member. He was elected, and he was appointed as the Minister for Water and Sewerage in the Ngarase government. And the reason he got he had a lot of support from our community because we don't have a sewerage scheme in Savusavu. That was 20 years ago. Till today, we still don't have a sewerage scheme in Savusavu. And it has, there's been, over the years, different proposals and projects have come up. There was going to be a sewage treatment plant at Nangari. That was objected to by locals, and that was canned. Mr. Councillor Irwin, or Member of Parliament, Mr. Irwin, he got support from the European Union, and he brought in a lot of sewage pipes in anticipation of the scheme getting going. It didn't. We had the coup. That didn't go forward. Later on, a new proposal came up to have that in Nandi Bay, near Nandi Bay. There was a lot of objection from the people in that area. That was cancelled. And another proposal came forward with a very good location, and that's been apparently investigated. I had some involvement with Water Authority engineers about that, but that's gone nowhere. And here we are 20 years later. A lot of growth is happening in our town, but you know, this issue of no sewage treatment plant is just a real impediment to growth, and it's creating high levels of E. coli in our bay. And when are we going to see something from your government, a solution to this problem?
Vinaka, Aaron, that's a very good question. I'm sure that I've heard a bit of talk with the Water Authority on this, there's a plan coming up for the sewerage, for the system here in Savusavu. I think one of them sitting here. Can somebody from the Water Authority talk on that, please?
Thank you for your question. Thank you for your question. First, I want to introduce myself. My name is Anare. I am the acting manager for regional operation for.
Sorry, can you hold the mic up a bit?
Okay. World Bank is working with the Ministry of Tourism in regards to that wastewater project. I believe just a few months ago they were working to acquire a land somewhere around Sabundondra. There is a plan in place, and they are working on it now.
Yeah, Aaron, just to add on to that, see, let me show you.
Yes.
I'll stay until tomorrow afternoon. I'll get more detail, more information on this, and I will give it to you tomorrow.
Yes.
Is that okay with you?
Yes, well, you know, the Water Authority deals with pipes, and I just want to know how long's the pipeline? Because we've been waiting 20 years, and are we going to get some solution in this government, or we have to wait for the next government?
Yeah. We as stated by the Water Authority people, the plan is already there for somebody to, it's a big project, as you know, and we're going to get finance, and I think they've already talked with World Bank. But like I said, I'll get more information on this, Aaron. Tomorrow you'll get it. What's the situation right now? It's the situation right now is already the planning phase, and there's some studies I think already been done on this. I think the consultation with those who are going to finance this project, that's where we are in right now. Am I correct, Water Authority? That's what you, yeah.
It's kind of, I can sense the frustration here, Assistant Minister, because a lot of these have been here for decades. And for them to hear that in planning is, just it's taking its toll. I think it's not healthy also. I think it's even affecting our oceans, and we're a tourism-focused town, right? So if you can, we'd like to really hear next town hall some concrete plans about some timelines and things that we can look at. If you can make some assurances, so if someone who knows a bit more of those plans can get response.
Yeah, sure, Stanley.
We'll take another question.
this is in relation to the port. You look after ports as well, Fiji-wise?
No, we're not.
No. So I think I'll give a Mr.
Yes, sure.
question.
But let's go.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
ask the-
Yep.
See, the port thing has been discussed in
Can you just
Savusavu.
ask the question? And can someone try and get, of journalists, can you try and get someone from ports if they're watching? Get them online. If they're one from Zoom, see if they can listen in on this question. And let us know if they can answer this. Thank you.
Okay, the construction of a new port in Savusavu has been going on for the last 30 years. It has been playing a big, very long pipeline. The last assurance that was given to us was by the then Prime Minister, Frank Bainimarama, in 2015 when he was doing the opening of the Frick office up here. He said by 2015 the port will be ready up here. We actually, I personally saw all the plans and everything for the port in Savusavu. They've identified the piece of land, the feasibility study was done, the engineering plans were done, everything was done. And as lately as about 18 months ago, we had another lot of consultants coming in doing the same process all over again. I just want to know what is the status of that particular project.
It's the port project in Balanga.
In Balanga, yeah.
All right, we'll try and get a response to that. Can we have another question, please? We'll give people one question at a time. Maybe, Aaron, you can go to the back of the line and we'll come through again.
Good evening, Board. My name is Tony Millard. I've been a resident here off and on since 1976, and I never thought I would live to see congestion in Savusavu. I am absolutely amazed. And it's a growing problem here. It's a safety issue, it is a traffic issue, it is a parking issue. At the moment, it appears that nothing is being done about it. The present town council, and in fact the past town council, advocated a parking meter system. Part of it was put in place, and then it seems to have been abandoned. But what they seem to have forgotten is that parking meter solutions have been tried in towns and cities all over the world. Largely, they have failed. And they have failed because they have taken the wrong attitude to parking. That is one of making money out of parking. But actually, it's not making money out of parking which is important. It's the removal of congestion, the removal of pollution, and the removal of cars which are likely to cause accidents, particularly to children. I've noticed this in Savusavu when crossing zebra crossings. Now, we do have a national program advertised on television, how to cross a level crossing. Unfortunately, it's not getting over fast enough, I'm afraid. But my question, if you like, from that is, when can we have an off-road parking solution in Savusavu? Because that is what we need to take traffic, park traffic, off the roads, not on the roads. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Stanley, what I need to say here, see, for the congestion part, that is something for us and police. We are handling that at the moment with the FRA. We're doing that in the Central Division, especially in the Suvarnasori corridor. But I think in this case here, because of the parking solution that you're talking about, I don't know whether the town councils are here. I know that I've been in Savusavu for many years back, and the talk too of getting a parking area plus this meter, that might help. Has been the talk of the town for many, many years. Maybe the council would like to explain or say something on that.
Can we have someone from the council, special administrator, acting CEO?
Good afternoon, Honorable Minister, the Assistant Commissioner of Police, members of the public. I've been to the council for the past 17 months. When we came in, the gazetting of the parking meters was with the Ministry of Transport. And as far as today we are concerned, they have given that for gazetting to Solicitor General's office. It is still lying down in Solicitor General's office. The Savusavu Town Council is liaising with Ministry of Local Government and Solicitor General's office, but it's still lying down with Solicitor General's office.
Yeah, thank you, Stanley. You know, I don't think that will really solve the problem because of the parking meters put on the street. What about the off-road, what do you call that?
Will that solution, that proposal work of, what is it, of parking?
Yeah, the parking space.
Is that a consideration?
Because that should be for the council.
Yeah, the Savusavu Town Council new market has opened. Temporary market will be removed from there.
Okay.
The council will allocate that place for temporary parking measures
Yeah.
for the time being.
Yeah. Okay, Stanley, for that gazetted meter, I will, yeah. It's a shame that it's been there for many, many months now. Let me look into that, eh? Yes, I think that will be part of the solution.
I think one thing coming through is that maybe the lack of attention that's been given
Yeah.
to some of these
Yeah.
key issues that maybe face small towns that no one maybe takes seriously
Yes,
at times. But
yes,
this is a real concern
yes.
and has been allowed to go for a long time.
Yeah.
To where we are now.
Yeah.
And sorry, you didn't get to introduce yourself. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Shiv Shankar Singh, Special Administrator for Savusavu Town Council. So
Yeah.
on the records of the parking meters, it's almost 4 years running down with respective authorities. Hasn't been done.
Okay. That will be addressed. I will go chase on that. I will look into that and try to get the gazette done. Eh? The other one, Stanley, about the congestion. I think with the help of, because that's something together LTA and police can address. Maybe we'll ask the acting commissioner if they can look into that as a temporary and a short-term solution, eh? While we deal with the other thing, the meter and the parking on the off-road or whatever you call it.
Okay. We'll be coming to the police and crimes and drugs and issues of safety later. Once we finish this topic. So please, once safety and infrastructure works is done, the next issue that Stella will moderate will be on policing, crime, alcohol, community safety. Next question, please.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Judy Dakadaka, and just like Tony, I've been in Fiji since 1976, on and off, when some of you weren't even born. Anyway, I think a lot of people in Savusavu are really frustrated, and it's apparent from the questions that things have been promised for a long time and they've never been enacted. I've got a bit of a long story, so cut me off if I go for too long. As long as about 7 or 8 years ago...
Judy, can please face the
sorry.
camera angle. Thanks. Just look at the minister and we can...
Thank you. As long as 7 and 8 years ago, the issue of development in Savusavu was a concern because there was pollution of the environment. And one of our residents, Justin Hunter, came up with what was called the Blue Town Model. This Blue Town Model involved 7 areas: renewable energy, waste management, marine conservation, environmental education, ecotourism, sustainable livelihoods, but the key one was a master plan for the town. This Blue Town Model was adopted in the cabinet of the previous government. We had a local Blue Town committee of volunteers that was supposed to, give input and advice about how we could protect and preserve the environment. Because why is Savusavu called a hidden paradise? Because it's actually naturally so beautiful. But the development that's going on is harmful. We don't have sewerage, as was mentioned, and yet development approvals keep being given, and the buildings have to have septic tanks and public facilities, and all of this is children that are doing sailing activities, and we see kids swimming, from the town in the bay. And the pollution, you can ask the people from Naui, they have a marine biologist, the pollution levels are so high that they can actually get sick from swimming in the bay. So I want to know, basically, why approvals are still being given for developments when the environment can't cope with the amount of septic tank leaching. Why we haven't got a master plan for the town where there are areas to get the parking off the main street and reduce congestion. Why we don't have a waste management plan. We have a rubbish dump that's leaching rubbish into the bay as well. There should be funding for this because this Blue Town model was presented at COP, the climate change conferences several times. Funding was given. We have never seen a cent of it come into Savusavu to deal with any of these issues. So I just want to know why this excellent model has not been adopted by the current government, and why it hasn't, because it's actually providing a framework, why it hasn't been adopted and why funding hasn't come through to do these projects. So it's a pretty long question, but I need you to know the background. Thank you.
Stanley, can I say something on that? I'm aware of this Blue Town project. Yeah, I'm not sure whether the council is still working together with the municipal, Ministry of Local Government on that, and how far they've gone into that, because that is a project to be championed by the ministry, the council, together with the local government.
Can you just, I think, just before we pass on to, just before we pass on, that's a good point. Why we don't, are we sacrificing in the name of development some of this? Are we compromising some of this?
Yes, and I really wish that we can put this plan and get it rolling. We've been talking about the plan to have those the sewerage and all these things put on the ground and start working on that, and together with the Blue Initiative that she's talking about here. But together, there's a lot of things involved in this. I know that you'll be able to explain on that.
Yes, to answer to that question regarding the sewerage, the World Bank team with the Tourism Fiji is working with Savusavu Town Council, and the land department has been given the task of acquiring the land. I think the land acquiring of the land has been seen by the World Bank and the Water Authority of Fiji, that is in Savunondo, and they are working on to that one. Plus also the landfill, the World Bank and Savusavu Town Council are working on that for acquiring of the land. Once the acquiring of the land is done, the process will take place faster. Thank you.
Thank you. We still will stay with infrastructure. I see that the line is still there, and we will continue it. While we have an assistant minister here, and we are going to hold him to account for everything that he has said he's planning to do, all these plans that's being talked about. I think Savusavu is one small town that has seen more plans than any other town that we know. But please, next question. Please identify yourself and your question.
My name is Abdul Rahman Shah. I'm one of the directors of Shah Group of companies. So my question goes to the assistant minister, whom I know personally, when he was in the road authority. So, my question is, how the roads are made now and before, I could say, there are potholes which is patched this afternoon, just today. Next morning, one small rain, like the one we had just now, some shower, you go back again, there will be pothole again. So what is the situation, why it happens like that? I can't understand. I have been working in PWD. I was a foreman, I was a supervisor on the roads, on the bridge. And what is happening now is just very funny. It's just a waste of public fund. That's what I can say. And for example, I can give you another example. The footpath that started at the Anglican Church went right up to the service station, total service station. That footpath, as a building contractor myself for nearly 55 years, there is no steel in it. Not even one piece of steel. It's just concrete. How do you expect anything to be done like that? It's just a waste of public money.
Yeah.
One earthquake, the whole footpath will be in pieces. So that is my concern, as
Yeah, Mr. Sam, yes. I spoke a bit on this issue on the addressing of the nationwide the concerns on the effectiveness and the efficiency of the rural infrastructure and maintenance, and that touches this road and the footpaths. And I think I have the guy from the FRA here, the deputy or the assistant regional manager, just to respond to that concern.
Let's get them, because that's not a new issue again, and it's been a complaint. It's become sometimes some sort of ridicule and jokes. Now the situation that we face, but it's not. These are serious issues. These are to do with public infrastructure. So the people working on it,
just to introduce myself, my name is David and I'm the program manager for Savusavu and Fijian and Rambi. Just to answer the questions, potholes is a short-term solution. It's just a temporary works, and we keep doing it until we can do the permanent works. So if you can see from the airport up to Oneva, we are doing a permanent works. And that to address the pothole issue that we have. I hope I've answered your question.
Can I ask on the materials that we're using to fix these roads? What are the international standard? I mean, why are they? The question is that it's washing away so easily. Maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration overnight, but who knows? But why are they falling apart so easily?
Yeah, the material are tested, and it's been approved and accepted by FRA. But as we all know, there's two things that can cause the degrading of this material. One is the high volume of the traffic, and another one is the what's called the moisture. So, as you can know, Savusavu is a rainy area like Suva. So if it continues to rain, you expect that materials to come out as soon as it can.
Thank you. Next.
Just letting everyone know that Divisional Planning Officer Northern is on his way, so he can come and sit next to the Assistant Minister and clarify some of those planning issues. Thank you.
Vijay.
Thank you, Te, for that explanation. I know the question that is coming here because people are talking about the people's money being used on roads and they keep on going down the drain because of the road conditions. I think what we have mentioned in my statement about having some kind of monitoring mechanism in place just to check on the quality of the work being carried out. Over again. Yeah. I'm glad that the question has been raised here. I'm here to face it, and we will also discuss this at the government level. FRA comes under the ministry, so we are also accountable for that. So we just want to enter this kind of, nonsense, really, if you want to say that. But we want to get a job done, and a good job, in terms of our road and infrastructure maintenance and repair.
Next question, please.
Bulabinaka, sir. Bulabinaka, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Anaseni Lauimbau Kolonikoro. I'm not from here. I'm from Levuka, but my husband is from here. So, and my children are in the Wolikambula. Okay, I am not a project manager, but because if you want to do a project, you should have a proposal time that you're going to start and end the project. So as you have mentioned, that your money is there from last year. So when will you start the project? Can we get a date, please, sir? Thank you.
Sorry, which
so for the roads. The roads, yes.
Project.
For the road project. Pinaka.
Talking about the Chinese, the 300 million project?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think I've covered that.
Maybe can you respond again, sir?
Yeah. Kere. Awa sapa madala takao tina nugu sonitaro that na project go ko mbeka go ko nitun chigo go bataka mina bale adoi lebia and the one that goes from the junction up to Sangani. Oh yeah, okay. That project is a a project between the Fiji government and the Chinese government, and it's all with the Prime Minister's office right now. I mentioned that most of the groundwork, we have already covered that. It's just reaching about to start with the work. Naka.
Thank you. Just before we take the next question, we acknowledge the presence and arrival of the Divisional Planning Officer, Northern Seterik in the Quimbo. Welcome. I think there's some issues that were raised earlier that we'll get you to respond, but we'll take the next question and we'll come to you. Thank you, sir.
Nisambula Vinaka. My name is Mara, and my family is from Savusavu, and I'm a resident of Nukumbalavu Road. So my question is about the government's development priorities here in Savusavu. So we're seeing major investments being made in tourism infrastructure, like the current jetty the jetty currently under construction right inside a protected geothermal zone without any proper consultation or clear legal approvals. And at the same time, basic infrastructure for our own communities, like Nukumbalavu Road, which this administration promised to tahsil during the last campaign, remains neglected. That road serves a large population, school children and tour buses, but families are still living with dust pollution and unsafe access. Our hospitals also need serious upgrades, as well as the other infrastructure that other residents have brought up. So my question is, why is elite tourism development being prioritized over basic infrastructure that directly impacts the health, mobility, and safety of local people? And how can the government justify approving high-end projects even in environmentally sensitive areas while critical community needs are left waiting?
Yeah. I will tackle the first one, and the second one regarding the development on that place you talk about. Is that the spot down there at Naui? That leave that with the divisional planning man to do the talking on that. Nukumbalavu Road.
Yeah, Nukumbalavu has been ignored for some time. I joined Fiji Roads Authority last year, and it's part of our plan to do that this financial year. We're working with the Water Authority. There's a problem with the water running along the center line of the road at the moment. So they're going to do the relocation and we will upgrade the road.
Right. So there you go. Confirmation from FRA that will be tahsil in this financial year.
This financial year, meaning by July it should be done, next year.
Starting in August.
Is there a sense, though, there's a sense here that some elite tourism, I can hear from Mara's question, elite tourism projects are being prioritized over basic needs of some of the communities here.
In terms of...
she was mentioning Nukumbalavu Road and some of these approvals. Any response from the government of how are you addressing, what's the plan or the concept in addressing development?
Talking about development. Divisional Commissioner, maybe you will be able to explain something there in terms of the development and the prioritizing of those.
Ladies and gentlemen, probably for the Commissioner Northern's office, what we do, we plan development in the north, take into account what the priorities of government and also the need from the people. Especially for Savusavu alone, the prioritization in terms of tourism in the north is not just brought up by this government, but it was a continuity from the previous government. You know that the last government came about with the Blue Town model, probably the first Blue Town in the Pacific or in Fiji, which is authored by our own Justin Hunter. And then by this government, it brought up a framework. It's a proposed framework now, which is still yet to be tabled to cabinet. And with it, so we are also trying to elevate from the infrastructure within Savusavu alone, in terms of if you see the infrastructure development, if you probably TLTB will elaborate more on that. We have a master plan for land use master plan, which most of our investors are taking into account in terms of how they invest, especially in the northern part of Fiji, and also other priorities within government as a whole in terms of infrastructure. Government is trying to bring back PWD, Public Works Department, to look into community access road. Under the Ministry of Rural Maritime Development, we are taking care of the Rural Outer Island program, which of course try to also move into infrastructure like farm access road and also community access. So those are basically infrastructure that we are taking into account, just moving from the last government up until now, prioritizing also development in terms of infrastructure and also tourism as a whole. Thank you.
Before we move on, there was a question about the Blue Town model, and now we are hearing about the Vuoliku project. Can you give an overview about what what this means for the priorities and process and infrastructure development in the north?
Well, I remember in 2019, the last government administration, they approved through cabinet the Blue Town. And again, this government, the coalition government, they brought up a model which still yet to be tabled to cabinet, which we call a Blue Town framework. So we're trying to move into a model to a framework, then of course, trying to work together, because the overview of Blue Town model is more on conservation and development, take into account both. We try to conserve our environment, sustain, and also do development in terms of tourism. And also with this Vuoliku project, it's a World Bank project together with government. It's a 10-year development project, as we all know. And we are in the first phase of feasibility studies, trying to move deeper in terms of consultations within the communities and also getting their view how well we can plan our way through in the next 10 years. Thank you, sir.
Next question, please.
Thank you.
Sorry, before we just go to that, I was just distracted by something. But there's also, when you're talking about these developments, you take into mind there's some questions earlier about the waste treatment plant and all that. Just before we move on to the next question, how are some of those basic things being addressed?
Yeah, thank you. Probably waste is another issue, not only in Savusavu, but in the whole part of the north. Under the Vuoliku project, one of the key thematic areas is waste. We're trying to build up a waste management plan for Savusavu and Lambasa, and of course the new town in Nambowalu. So this plan underway through the Vuoliku project in terms of getting the waste management plan. I believe some of the audience that are sitting here are part of their consultations a few months back in terms of how to get their views in terms. But for now, we're still in the feasibility studies on how well we can plan our way through. Thank you.
Thanks. Just before, so these plans and these frameworks, can you give an idea what's the time from a plan to implementation? Like, is it 3 years? Is it 5 years? When can people see actual work on the ground on these things? Because I think there's quite been a bit of plans.
Yeah, thank you. Getting a feasibility studies is not an easy task. It takes time and effort. So probably what we've talked about with Vuoliku and the committee under the Ministry of Tourism, it takes them another round of 1.5 years to 2 years in terms of getting this plan done. Because the project is a 10-year project.
Feasibility, then it goes to cabinet.
Yeah.
Gets the approvals from the range of governments.
Right.
And then I think we just need to be realistic for people's expectations about when you'll actually see some action. Yeah.
Right.
Because we don't want to come in 2 years and the plan has reached some stage from there. Just some understanding of the way government works, perhaps. Next question, please.
Thank you, Stanley. You kind of touched the point on the question I have to ask to the minister is concerning your rural roads. You talked about it for so long. It's planning. When are you actually going to do something about the Wudi, Savulolo, and River Road? Yeah. Now, that was destroyed long ago, and everyone keeps saying, it's happening, feasibility studies. I want to know when, because it rained today, I can't drive home. The river's flooded. I have family in town, I spend the night. Not only me, it's all the other farmers here. When do you plan to start on the roads there? We have big contractors here, excellent contractors, Big Track, for example. They can come and clear the roads. They can do it tomorrow. But you keep saying you're going to do it when?
Yeah.
So can I go home tomorrow? That's one question. Tied in with that question.
Yeah, let's get the first one.
First one, please.
Yeah, I was looking at Yafariga and I heard about the Wudi Road. Are you from that area?
I definitely am, and I have to swim sometimes.
I tried to look through the list of programs for the Savusavu area. Is Wudi in that program? Yes, it is.
Please come with the mic, please. Take the mic, please.
Yeah, let's get this sorted so you can know when the work is coming.
Yeah, I think there's the request that came to our office, and we already started on 2.5 kilometers at the moment.
Where?
Wudi. Is it Sabundondo or Farm Road? Is it?
Yeah, when you come to the junction, you go Wudi and then Line River. Line River goes up to my place to the new water catchment.
We're doing.
You've started on Wudi, but you've done nothing about the other crossing that we have to cross.
Oh, I think this is
The
the first
culvert's
time
been there for
that we're
donkeys
receiving
years.
this request for this route.
Oh, no. I raised this many years ago. Please, I raised it with the Commissioner Northern's office. I raised it with the PA's office here. I've raised it I've even taken it up to the PS level.
Okay, we got a long list of roads. As you know, before we don't attend to, maybe this is called before non-FRA roads. But this government, there's no non-FRA roads. So we will take up this request and we'll make sure we
let me ask
can
the,
respond back to.
I just want to maybe the divisional commissioner, planning DPO. Probably because you can do it through the Public Works or the Ministry of Rural and Maritime.
The beautiful thing here, we'll put you in contact with the right people now, and everyone's going to be watching that road.
For us,
Okay, if they can't do it, please tell them to give us permission. We'll employ Dig Track to do it, because we did ask to do that. And they said, no, don't touch the road, that's not your road.
Please, guys, use the mic. Divisional Police Command.
Thank you for that question. Probably, you correct me if I'm wrong. That road that comes from Nabunanti, and cross-country road down to Savundondo, right? That route.
No. I go past Savundondo.
Savundondo, okay.
Yeah, and then it junctions off to Wudi.
Wudi, okay.
And
That
then to
Wudi, cross-country road right directly to another Bonanti, right?
I think so.
Yeah. That road is divided into two. There's a community access road and also a public works. So half of the road, it's around 20 kilometers, I believe. So 10 kilometers is covered by PWD. It was used to be under FRA. Back then, it was just DNR, Department of National Road, and goes back to FRA. Now it's PWD. We have funding for that. I'll probably look into our provincial administrators and also FRA on which, because we're trying to avoid double dipping. If they are trying to construct the road there, because I remember when I was a provincial administrator there, we did that road, costing government around $40,000, just to do upgrade the road down to the halfway through Nadavanandi. So probably we'll try and revisit that road again and work with the FRA. Please give your contact to us.
I definitely will, because my mango tree is now the parking area for everyone in the neighborhood, so they can use my road.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have my word. Please give us your contact.
She just wants to get home without
I
swimming.
want to get home tonight. Thank you.
And that's the beauty of these forums. We get to clear some things and maybe some miscommunication and maybe some missing letters. But now they know that there is actually that road exists.
Yeah.
And we'll hopefully get something done from this town hall. Rodney.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Rodney Simpson. I was going to ask you the question, Nukumbalabu Road, but since someone brought it up, and also the potholes, I'm going to focus on that Hibiscus Highway. As you can see, it's currently being sealed. And the funny thing is, after a couple of weeks, there's holes again on the new seals. So I just want to ask you, how are you guys monitoring the road, the engineers and the contractors? Because it's a waste of time sealing a new road, and within a few weeks, you got potholes. And then when you're driving, you see these white marks, and engineers looking smart on the side of the road. You know, so, I mean, if you monitor the road as engineers, you should know your job. And you should make sure that road lasts a couple of years. So anyway, that's my question. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Binaka Rodney, FRA. So need to get this sorted out there, because I know there's a lot of concern coming about the potholes and the road going back to those kind of condition just after a repair. Is there anything you want to say on that, FRA?
Yeah, I think what he's talking about, we've done, we call it treatment, rip and remake. As I've said earlier, it's a treatment to address the pothole issues. And so far we've done about 10.8 kilometers. And I think if you drive through that road, maybe only a few spots that you can see the potholes. In anything that we do, it's not everything is perfect. We expect to do, there'll be certain percentage of failure. But it doesn't mean that we're accepting those failures. The contractors, within the condition of contract that we sign and agreed on, they'll have to come and fix it again at their own cost.
Rodney, for a follow-up comment or question?
What's that?
You have a follow-up comment or question to this?
Yes. So can you guys assure us that on the potholes that Mr. Shah brought up, that he can find a better solution so we don't get the potholes often? Like you fix it. I mean, in the past, we never had this problem. You know, when they would fix the holes, I remember in PWD days, you know, they'd fix it and then it'll last a couple of months. I mean, just lasting a couple of weeks. I mean, you should find a solution. You know, I mean, it's wastage of money.
Yeah.
And I feel we can find a solution, or you can find the expertise to help you guys if you don't have the knowledge.
Thank you.
Yeah, Rodney, that's a valid concern. Good one. Stanley, we will discuss that. We have FRA. Let me take it up to that level again about these kind of issues and concerns coming from the public.
Thank you.
Almost all the time, yeah.
Naka, I expected the works discussion to last just 20 to half an hour, but now it's almost gone an hour. Thank you to those representatives turning up to answer these questions. I'll take 1-2 more questions. You still have a question? Okay, to please take the mic. Tim, we'll take your question first. Thank you.
Thank you, Assistant Ministers, DPC North, Assistant Commissioner of Police, thanking you all in this consultation. I, Muhammad Farouk, the representing Savusavu Taxi Association. So my profession is a taxi driver. And since we are driving the gravel road, we find many places people making their own road hump. I don't know how come. Without any signage, without any cone, and no limited. Any height they can make in even any village, we cross 3 or 4 pothole road humps. Even on the Tahsil road, they put thick ropes across, which is difficult for the drivers. So we very humbly request the people, FRA or anyone, to please just have a look. Go towards Sangani Road, and you just see, count from Navakaka and all the areas, 3-4 humps each village. Is it legal? Is it gazetted? Please answer me. Thank you.
Hey, Binaka Farouk. We jump from pothole to humps. I don't know which one is right. Okay, Farouk. Listen, I'm not sure, but you know, to do a road hump, what I know about road hump, it has to go through that FRA process. Whether that is happening or people are just making up their own hump, I don't know. I'll drive up that road tomorrow and I'll take FRA with me. So we'll learn to see that. But if they are illegal, remove it. But if it has to be a proper one, then there is a system, a process to be followed, and the signage and the proper way of constructing a hump. Stanley?
Hope that answers the question. We have one more, and then we'll move. Stella will move us on to the next section. Is the mic on? Put it on.
Hello. Thank you, sir. Good evening to you, sir. My name is Shiv Prasad. I'm originally from Savusavu. I'm born here, this nearby, and there's Navaria. It's very close to town, only 5 minutes drive from town. Not even 5, takes me about 3 minutes, something like this. And I'm the school manager for the Kamenda Sanatan Primary School. My issue is, I've got 3-4 issues, so I can complete mine before I don't have to come back to you again. Okay, my issue is, the first one is like, we need some road safety, like some people have just already have mentioned some of the road problems, issues is going on, you know. I think that's really right. Sometimes when you drive our own vehicle in town, we have to do a lot of maintenance. It costs a lot of money. Why? But the road condition is not in the good. So we have to need a lot of development of the road. And also, do you have got a pedestrian crossing in the town is just nearby, opposite the town council and the other side, the bridge also. So we need, if they can put one street light crossing. So it's very easy for the drivers to cross when they drive on that pedestrian crossing. Some of the people, they just cross anyhow. They don't see the vehicle is coming, they just cross it. Sometimes police are not there to control the traffic. I know police are busy. So we need a street light for that. And also, my second issue is for the Kamenda Sanatan Primary School, I need the safety of the children for their health and safety also. And sometimes we can see a lot of people coming to drink the liquor in the school premises. And I require the police officers, if they can come and patrol that area every day and night. Sometimes drunk people, when they drink, they enter in the school compound during the classes time. So some of the teachers, they have to come out from the classroom. So it's unsafe for the students. I need that area to be patrolled because a lot of people, they come and drink liquor, and it's just opposite the image, just beside the hot spring. And also my area where I'm staying here, it's very close to Fijivillage at the road going inside. This is unsafe. Sometimes when the ladies, especially when they come out from their job, they late night, they're working, and they have got no transport, and also they find very difficulties. People are drinking liquor there. And that is very unsafe for ladies, especially in the daytime when the children go home back after the school. They find very difficulties. And also, even the area, a lot of people drinking, they're making a lot of noise, yelling day and night. Sometimes we can't sleep in the night. And why it's still on the structure, my road is it's not a good condition. Sometimes we find very difficulty for the children when during the heavy rain, so they can't go to the school. And for the elderly people, when you ring for the taxi to come and pick them up to go to the hospital or for the town, the road condition is very bad. So all these things I need, if you can just for us to help in that. So it's for our safety of our people from my area. Because our advisory council doesn't come and move around and check all these things. He's been there for how many years? We need some changes to get some new advisory councillors. Rather than taking the post and doing nothing, just sitting in the DO's office, and he's just doing his own, signing everything there. It's fine for them, but we need some people to monitor and work on that area. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. That's changing the councillors. That's for Savusavu. But maybe Mr. Tunada will respond on the road stuff, and that's a good segue into our next section when he'll talk about the concerns about public health and safety and the drinking issue that's been raised. Then we'll move into the health with Stella will moderate.
Yeah, Vinaka Stanley, for that light and the crossing, that's not a big issue. I'm afraid to get it. You look into that, please. No, look into it. They can go and look.
Yeah, I think there's a discussion before. I think we were supposed we have the budget last time, but then the last special administrator, I believe, they rejected it just because of the Blue Town program. Yeah. So I think we will need to sit down again with the council and maybe the Blue Town committee and discuss about it.
So FRA was ready to do that. Then the council intervened and said, well, we're not going to do it because of the Blue Town project. I don't know whether...
Okay, I will just touch this issue for a while. Please respond. Give the mic to the Special Administrator.
Respond to that.
Can you please stand up to respond?
Respond to that. It is about 19 months now. We have asked FRA to do the installation of the crossing light. What FRA told us, we don't have anything in the budget. Now, there is another budget that came in. I don't know if anything is there or no. That's what the answer was from the
Okay,
FRA.
thank you. I think the intention is now to do that. I think the same sentiment I'm hearing is sitting down together. Just one final question. How do people get in touch with you with their priorities so that they can ensure that you are aware of it? What's the best way?
Well, you can come to the office. It's at Sabaragareka, or you can call my number, 899-3839.
Thank you.
Or even call my number, 999-3532.
999?
3532.
3532. Thank you very much, Mr. Tunadeva, for giving your time. Maybe some questions will come your way later. But now, over to you, Stella.
Thank you for that powerful discussion, Assistant Minister. Now we move on to crime, alcohol, and community safety. For this, ACP Aparosa Lutunaunga and his team are here to answer questions. So if you have questions relating to crime, alcohol, and community safety, please make your way to the back, and the ushers will also provide the microphone. Today we did our groundwork, and some of the concerns that have been brought up is public alcohol consumption. This is some of the concerns raised by residents here in Savusavu. So ACP, what is being done about the rise in public alcohol consumption and weekend disorder here in Savusavu? Also, despite regular complaints from residents, why does there seem to be no consistent police response to public drunkenness? Once again, if you have questions relating to public safety or anything that you'd like to raise with regards to concerns with police issues, policing issues, do make your way and also raise your hands. Feel free to raise your hands if you have questions, and our ushers will come to you. Thank you. ACP, just on going back to our question, the concern of public alcohol consumption raised by some residents. What is being done about the rise in public alcohol consumption and weekend disorder in Savusavu? And despite regular complaints from residents, why does there seem to be no consistent police response to public drunkenness?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Awe, for... First of all, please, I would like to say mbula binaka to all on behalf of the Commissioner of Police, who is away overseas, and just sent me here today to be present, and it's really for the first time to be present in a consultation session as such, and we are grateful that we have been given the opportunity, and I thank Stan and the team for inviting the Fiji Police. And yes, I am Aparosa Lutunaunga, and this is the Divisional Police Commander at Northern, and I hold the rank of Assistant Commissioner of Police, Planning, Research, and Doctrines. So to answer your question on the first question, Madam, yes, there's a lot of issues that surround public drunkenness. There are a few issues that we have discussed at Savusavu with the Divisional Police Commander and the officer in charge of the Konrabe. While our job is to enforce the law, and that is, we will take people, and we are expected to take people to task. But the fact is, for ladies and gentlemen, we must remember that drinking liquor in a public place, it must be an evidence-based it must be an evidence-based issue, where one, it must be in a public place, two, liquor must be consumed, and three, it must be seen by a police officer or a member of public. Because at the end of the day, we will end up in court. Us, a group of people gathering around, there's about 5 or 6 of them, and then one is drinking. Only one will be taken. Because I'm saying this because these are our processes that we have, which will end up, and we must understand that in court where everything is being determined. How in our police, the criminal procedure code on our intervention powers are in, where we move in, and then without the offense being committed, we are expected to tell them to move. Without the organization or without the Fiji police have not seen the act, but we have moved in and then disperse the crowd. So those are the two instances as far as the issue of drinking liquor in public place. But if they are seen to be drinking, we are expected to arrest and process them and take them under the Minor Offences Act to the police station and produce them in the court of law. But if the concern is the police not been able to do that, we will take that on board, and we will ensure that from now on, moving forward, we will address the issue, because as you know that the Fiji Police Force is now currently going through a reform and a restructure where we are putting more boots on the ground. And we are thanking the government for giving us that budget to get in another 1,000 officers, because really we need boots on the ground in order for us to enforce and ensure security of the people of Fiji.
Thank you very much, ACP. We now we have questions from members of the public. Can you have a next question, please?
Good evening. It's Mara again, and I promise this is my last question. On the subject of safety, I specifically wanted to bring up gender-based violence and services available for people who are suffering from gender-based violence. So I can't tell you the specific numbers for Savusavu, but I can tell you the stories that I have seen and I have heard. And there's so many instances of gender-based violence, behind closed doors, in villages, and even in town. And we know it isn't an isolated issue because national data shows that nearly 2/3 of women in Fiji have experienced physical or sexual violence. And that's 64% of women. And I'm sure, like, just looking around here in Savusavu, it's just as high, if not even higher. And while we do have the Songo Vakamarama Vakandrove, and I want to acknowledge the work that they are doing in women's empowerment and cultural preservation, we need something more. We need a service that is trauma-informed and inclusive of all women and specifically equipped to respond to violence, one that can support survivors regardless of their age, their ethnicity, their background, and provide real options for safety and recovery. So my question is, what will it take to establish a dedicated women's crisis center in Savusavu? What budget, partnerships, or political will can be mobilized to make this a reality?
Thank you for your question, Madam. First of all, for the Women's Crisis Center, that is out of reach for the Fiji Police. That will be under the Fiji Women's Rights Commission. However, let me just take you through on the sexual offences cases in the Northern Division for the past 3 years. For the whole of the Northern Division, in 2022, there was 203 cases, and then 157 in 2023, and 132 in 2024. The types of sexual offences that have been committed here, the top 3 are indecently insulting or annoying any female, rape, and indecent assault. This is in terms of the whole of Honolulu. However, for Savusavu alone, Savusavu for 2022, we have 20 cases of sexual offences. In 2022, 34, 20 in 2023, and 28 in 2024. And of course, the major issues here are indecently insulting or annoying any person, rape, and indecent assault. This is the background of the sexual offences that you have raised this afternoon for the past 3 years. And I know you have raised the question of gender. The Fiji Police is pursuing under the restructure and reform that I'm talking about. There is an amalgamation of units which will be called the Family Protection Unit. And this unit will include the sexual offences and the Juvenile Act, where we hope to bring them together under that, and where we have a green room initiative. And I know you know that within the sexual offences unit, where ladies or women can come in privacy and have their cases dealt with. So that is, as far as Women's Crisis Center, it is beyond our reach, but for sexual offences, that is the contribution of the Fiji Police Force as far as the stats and what we are doing towards addressing the issue here in Savusavu.
Thank you, ACP. You have another question? Ma'am?
The issue of alcohol abuse is related to the domestic violence and sexual assault. Savusavu has a population maybe 5,000 or 7,000, and maybe, I don't know, half or 2/3 of those might be over 18, right? In overseas countries, one liquor license is permitted per 500 or 600 people who are over 18. So that means in Savusavu we should have maybe 10 liquor licenses. Nolene Billings did some research. There's 25 liquor licenses in Savusavu, plus people selling alcohol black market, which is a police issue. I want to know why so many liquor licenses are being permitted, first of all. If you look at the Act, it says that to issue a liquor license, you need that person needs to be investigated, I guess. They have to have good character. And another problem is, in overseas countries, when you've got a liquor license, you have a place like a bar where the people can drink, and it's enclosed and it can be monitored. Like you can have, bouncers there, or the police know that that's where people can consume alcohol, and outside of that, they're not allowed to. Like, it's quite simple. So we've got a real problem here about too much alcohol available, unregulated, nowhere for people to drink, so they drink in the beach and public places. And here's another question: why don't the police have breathalyzers? You're saying you need evidence that people have been drinking in public or public drunkenness. Like, you could have a breathalyzer. Like, they're really simple. They blow in, they tell you what the alcohol reading is. And aren't empty bottles and smashed bottles and people acting, screaming and yelling out, isn't that evidence of antisocial behaviour? Surely there's a law against public disorder that can be enacted. Like, you don't actually have to see someone, putting the bottle like that. I think the police need to be a little bit more, expand their evidence to monitor this. And I'm sorry talking so long, but I know there was a huge problem in, what's that area on the Coral Coast, starting with M?
Can we just have the ACP just to answer some of the questions before you jump into the next one?
Well, I'm just saying the police had a problem there, and they fixed it up in no time because people were drinking on the beach, causing public disturbance, and they put people in the lockup quickly, and it was solved.
Okay, ACP.
Thank you, Madam. You're talking about two offences there. One is drinking liquor, which I was explaining, and the other is drunk and disorderly. Drunk and disorderly, we do not need to have evidence of drinking. It's just that they are being heavily smelling of liquor in a public place and disorderly behavior. We can effect arrest there. But for drinking liquor in public place, that is where I've explained earlier on. And to answer your first question on the liquor tribunal, that is done on the liquor license. That is out of the police hands. It is the liquor tribunal that determines the licensing of bars. And so it is beyond our role is just to enforce the law. And the two difference that I've given, then you've raised, that is drunk and disorderly, and the other is drinking liquor in public place. In both, we can both arrest.
Of breathalyzers, how is the police force in terms of resources? They had mentioned that if breathalyzers could be done.
Yeah, we have to. Currently, our police act is under review because breathalyzers are for drivers. It is for test for drivers, not for the people that are drinking because it is under the LTA Act. So our laws are now under reform, and then we are slowly bringing up some of these issues in which not only breathalyzer but also drug test that we would like. Some of the communities are wanting that to be included into the Police Act. But it has to be legislated. Only then we can enforce as an organization.
Thank you. Just before we go to the next question, Stella, can I ask my question on the liquor licenses? I know it's outside of the police center. But do you have a position?
Yes, we have a role to play.
No, you have a position on whether there should be more or less? Because it's, what's the thing that's coming across is that it may be affecting your ability to enforce some things.
Yeah,
Or is it out of your position, you don't get involved in that?
Yeah, no, any application for a liquor license, we come in. We ensure that the place is secure on the facility itself. But the determination of that, we only ensure that the facility is secure and all those. Just a normal application that we provide a check, a physical check of the premises to ensure that the liquor is there, it will be safe, and then we will give. But at the end of the day, decision is by the liquor tribunal.
Thank you. We have another question from
Bulabinaka, sir, I would like to take this time in thanking you for the service, for the Fiji Police Force, but I have a complaint. I went to China last year for 2 years for the Ministry of Women. I was chosen from the Northern Division to go for a clothing and textile course. And then while I was there, the police came into my house and raided my house. And they were looking for someone. They didn't find that person, but they asked for my room to check, to go and raid the house. So I know my rights. I came back, I made a formal complaint, and then I had an interview, but I want to know where is that complaint.
Can I get back to you after this?
Yes, sir.
And you can talk to my PSO so that we can sort it out, and I'll certainly bring back a feedback to you.
Pinaka, can I have another question, please? It's about, not a question, it's just something that happened last week. We had this Rotary, thank you for the Savusavu Rotary Club for making garbage, rubbish tin, and one of the drunkens last week burned one of the rubbish tin in front of the main town supermarket, and there was no police around. But I was not there, but I was told that there was no police, because I used to go online on Facebook, and that's one of the issues that they asked me to talk about. So can we please, instead of them just walking like in the day, can they come also in the night, the police officers, just to help, because we can't stop the people going to drink. We can't stop them. It's their, it's their right. They want to go to the nightclub, they go. But it's their, I forgot to say again.
Responsibility.
Yeah, responsibility.
To be accountable for their actions.
Yes. And another thing,
Thank you,
I love the uniform. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll take another question from the crowd. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Hulemila Toroki. I've been away overseas for so long. I've come back now. I've been here for about 1.5 years. Seeing what's going on in the village really baffles me. People are drinking. Before I left, it was said that no drinking in the village because it brings discomfort to the villagers. They drink from Saturday all through Sunday, disturbs the church service. And what can we do to erase this? This is really a problem that I'm finding now, and it's getting to me. I wish I could just go back, but I'm here. I've got to serve my people. I've been away for almost 20 years, and I've just been back for about 1 year now. The drinking, the alcohol, like the unlicensed people selling alcohol in the village, it's absolutely unbelievable. The 3 villages, I come from Noweni, and it consists of 3 villages, Noweni, Ndromninuku, and Tadilevu. And these 3 villages in the whole of Fiji is famous for drug planting, which is really, it shames me to think that this is happening under my very nose, thinking that I've come back to something that is good for the people. And people selling drugs, people smoking drugs. Where are we heading to? What can the police do to this? Especially on Sundays. They're drinking and there's no respect in the village.
Thank you, Madam. In response to your question, that is a very challenging issue now, not only in your village, but most of the villages across Fiji. But the police cannot act alone. They need to work in partnership with the villages. Our response to that is for the village to set up their crime prevention committee in partnership with the police, so that whenever there is an offense or things of your concern in your community, these crime prevention committees have been given the access to contact the police so that we could come in. And we need to work together. The police cannot do it alone, and we can come in, and if things are selling liquor in the village, we must be notified in our official report, so that then we can go in and take people to task. So that is a common challenge across, and the only way is that we are working towards community policing Tuabata, drawing unity amongst various agencies through acceptance that crime is everybody's responsibility and not the police alone. Through our partnership program, that is what we have. We are trying to address the issues that are emanating from our criminal environment as you speak. Of course, this is a new age and a new era and a new dimension of environment that we are working in. For marijuana, this is just to give you a brief overview. For the month of March, April, and May, a total of 9 tons was harvested by the Fiji police across Fiji. 9 tons, with a total of $79 million street value. This is the $79 million street value, 9 tons that we had prevented from coming into the streets. This is through our drug operation Sasamaki, 4 phases from Kandavu, in Navosa and Apia. And certainly the areas that you are mentioning, we have been there. We've conducted raid in Natewa, and that is the result. 9 tons for 3 months, and a total street value of $79 million. That is very alarming. And as I've stated, the police cannot do it alone. We need your assistance, and especially when you are dealing with drugs. That is only green alone. And when we talk about white, it is for the 3 months, 4.9 kg with a total of 2.4 million. That is the street value of, and we also have gotten the proceeds of crime that has resulted from our investigations into those crime farms. But most of the farms that we are uprooting, we cannot identify the owner. That is where we need your assistance to come and tell us who are the owners. I know it's a dangerous situation, but we need to keep Fiji safe. For the future of our generation, we need to put these drugs at a stop right now.
Thank you. Before we move on to the next question, may I just remind those who are asking, if you could just keep, because we want to highlight as much issues as possible and questions, please could you just keep your questions very short and straight to the point. Thank you. Our next question.
Thank you. I am again on this mic here, and I request to the acting commissioner of police, like we have approximate 200 vehicles in Savusavu, maybe, and only 3 traffic police officers. So just tell my this public here, these 3 police officers, will they be working in the night or day? If they also need to go on leave, so sometimes 2 days they go on leave. So there is no traffic police in town. And another thing, no breathalyzer machine with them. They are not fully equipped. So we request if the police force can increase the number of traffic police and equip them with breathalyzer machine and things like that. So easy, because lately we saw plenty of vehicles, they got accident, the drivers and the passengers, they run away. So that is the thing. If the machine is there and the checkpoint is there, they will be arrested in town before having accident. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Just to quickly respond to your, there are 100 police officers in Savusavu. This is the total manpower for Savusavu. This includes our remote police station of Sangani and Kortaseri. We have 16 at 8 and 8, 16, so basically 84 here. And I agree with you that the 3 traffic men. However, we are very thankful to government who has approved our budget this year, which includes the 1,000 new police officers, and that includes the traffic officers for Savusavu police station. We are going to increase the traffic officers, increase the bitumen for Savusavu, just to ensure that our visibility is here in our fight against crime. Sir, be rest assured that the traffic component of Savusavu will be increased in the first phase of our RNR that has been approved by government. As far as our breathalyzer, currently it has been taken to be calibrated overseas, and then it will be returned and it will be in operation again in the divisions. And we hope to have this sometimes early next month.
We'll take another question. We'll take 2 more questions before we move to the next topic. Thank you.
Acting Commissioner, I've got 2 issues. Firstly, you had mentioned earlier extra 1,000 police officers, boots on the ground. What we see in practice is we see 5 pairs of boots on the ground walking together, yarning with each other up and down the footpath. My wife and I go for a walk every afternoon, and we are walking behind a concentrated group of young officers chatting with each other, checking their mobile phone. And why aren't you breaking up these boots on the ground into 2 pairs here and 2 pairs there and 2 pairs down in the bushes and 2 pairs down near the waterfront, rather than just these concentrated groups of officers having a kind of a wander through the street? And we only ever see them daytime. We don't see them Saturday afternoons. We don't see them in the evenings. I live right in town, close to the nightclub. I hear all that screaming and yelling late at night, and we don't see the officers then. And why can't you do shift work? Why can't you have half the officers daytime, half the officers at nighttime? So that's my first issue that I wanted to raise with you. And perhaps if I've got another issue about the drugs, but if you just wanted to answer that one, Acting Commissioner.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you for your question. We run on a 3 shift, on a 24 hours. We run on a 3 shift. And for beat patrol that you are talking about, the normal procedure for beat is 2 officers per beat. But sometimes, especially when we bring in new constables, then we have 3, because one is to be a senior constable to oversee, supervise, and monitor the beatsmen on their preliminary rounds within the beat area. That is the only time that you need to have 3. But if what you are saying is true, we will address it with the officer in charge of the Conrave, and surely, I assure you, sir, we will address that to ensure that those concerns are addressed.
Thank you, Commissioner. The other issue that I to bring up, drugs is on everybody's lips, but and in the newspapers, in the media. But from my perspective, it's a lot of lip service is about the need to tackle the drug problem. But why hasn't the government, and it's really not, that's something that you can answer, but why hasn't the government drafted a policy framework and clear laws for protection and incentivization for whistleblowers? You mentioned earlier about out in the villages, it's a dangerous thing, you want people to come forward. There's no protection. There's no protection for whistleblowers in this country. There's no incentivization. There's no public campaign encouraging whistleblowers to step up and identify the dealers and the big farmers. Your police, from what we can see, are mainly going after the small-time dealers and the users. There's no concerted campaign to catch the big fish. Businessmen who are involved, senior civil servants, politicians, senior police officers, and lawyers and other professionals involved in the drug industry. It's big bucks. And what we see all the time, small dealers getting caught. I remember last year, some small dealer was caught in the West with less than a kilo of methamphetamine, and I think it was the Police Commissioner Western who said, we've got a Pablo Escobar of Fiji. And yet, 6 months later, you got 4 tons of methamphetamine, and that was a bust done by the Nassori police who had to go to the West. So what was the police missing? There's no widespread public campaign encouraging members of the public to step
we
forward with
we get the point,
information.
so we'll just allow the ACP
Right,
to
sorry.
answer.
Thank you, sir. Just for information, we have an initiative which is the Crime Stoppers, where you do not need to give your identity. It's just giving your information that you require. And if that information leads to an arrest, it will be remunerated and you'll be rewarded. That's the only initiative that we have now for those that wish to give information without revealing their identity.
Where's the protection?
It will be anonymous within the Fiji police.
Your police have been caught involved in the drug industry.
Yeah, I know, sir. We have a few officers that have been, but that does not mean the whole police force. Our systems and processes are in place that addresses those that have gone through those, have taken those paths down. We have taken people to task, and we have already taken some to go to court and has already ended up in prison. We have systems and processes available in the Fiji police to address those issues. But my request is to trust the process, give the information, and we will ensure that that information is treated with confidentiality so that it leads to the arrest and the fight against drugs, that which we are very, very, very committed to in pursuing.
We'll take one more question from the floor. Oh, this is the second last question. Sorry.
Good evening, Sir Acting Commissioner of Police, the DPC Northern, and the members of the media who are here. I have a concern while we are still on public drunkenness and drugs here in Savusavu. And also would like to ask on the possibility of erecting another police post, if it's possible, down the jetty side, because this is where the drunkards used to go when the clubs are closed after 1 a.m. So there have been incidents of the cars of the residents down Daku side being stoned at. They've got a broken windscreen and all that, side mirrors damaged from these groups who used to stay there until morning. Is there a possibility of putting up a police post down the Savusavu jetty side just to increase police presence? As you said, more boots on the ground. If the Fiji police could look into that and get something down for Savusavu jetty.
Thank you, sir. We will take that on board because currently we are in negotiating with the town council in regards to one police post in the middle of the town. And for that to happen there, before we build, we can erect tents just to provide the support. But we will surely take that suggestion on board, and I will let the divisional police commander to see that those issues are addressed as far as our visibility is concerned. And for your information, these 1,000 have not come in. They will come in after a few months for the 1,000. So expect us to be very tight in our manpower. But once it comes, I will assure you that the people of Savusavu will be better protected.
We'll take one more question from the floor. A reminder once again to keep our questions short and concise, straight to the point. We'll take one more question, ACP.
Thank you. Good evening, the Assistant Commissioner of Police and the Divisional Commander of Police. Thank you. I have already raised my issue regarding of the first question was the safety of my area, Navaria, is just nearby, and it's find very difficult for the ladies and especially for the school children when they come back after the work and from the school. They find very difficult to work that area because day and night people are drinking the liquor there. So I need safety for them, and for requesting for the police officers for their patrol in day and night. And also they have already breaking into my house and they have stolen so many things. And I report that matter to the police, and police have already been arrested the person. So it's very unsafe for us, especially for the ladies and for the school children. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Tomorrow the police officers from Savusavu Community Policing will be there. in your area to set up the crime prevention committees in your area?
Say, if they want, they can contact me.
Yes.
I think the divisional commander,
Yes, yeah.
police, he know me well.
Yes. Tomorrow they will come to
Yes,
your area.
they can come and see me. And I think my daughter is also in the police. I think she was here, but she now she's transferred to Lambasa with the divisional.
Okay, so we'll be there tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just to let the moderators know, we've got the Commissioner Northern, Uraya Rainima. He's at the back if any questions directed for him.
Thank you.
And also the Permanent Secretary for Environment is online, Dr. Sivendra Michael, if you need any questions clarified about environment. Plus, we have health and tourism online as well.
Health and tourism, and that's the issues we'll go into now. Stella, I'll take the mic now because I'm told that some issues being teed up. You can have the seat, Acting Commissioner. Health, tourism, and commerce, and we'll go inside. This is now going to be open time because representation from the government is not as strong tonight, so we're going to ask questions. Maybe we'll tee up those who are available to on Zoom. You can put your hands up if you can answer, but now it's, I think, open forum. We're about to have 20 minutes to half an hour to go. So I'm opening the floor up, and maybe we can start with health. I see that there's a few issues about equipment and challenges faced with supplies, but can you please start lining up with your issues and what you wish to address? Maybe open one that we can follow up with the government, maybe with Professor Biman Prasad and the other ministers who will be in Lambasa tomorrow. Some of these cross-cutting issues we can bring through, or some of specific issues that you want to raise that we can get to answer. So that's acknowledging the presence of Commissioner Northern Binawalew, sir, and is it a PS4? Environment and health, tourism. Is it NDM?
Director Tourism.
Director Tourism, and who from health?
Health spokesperson.
Health spokesperson. Binawalew. So please, it's your chance to raise your issue now, and we'll close off the last segment of our town hall forum today.
Good evening. My name is Koreng Yolev, and I'm a Savusavu resident. My question here is in regards to persons with disabilities. We conducted a research just last year based on the disability allowance scheme. And what we found out from that study was that persons with disabilities that had psychosocial disabilities were largely concentrated in the Natewa and Rambi districts. And one of the main challenges that we saw was that access to the stress ward was very remote for them. And so my question is, what is the government's plan to include a stress ward in Savusavu Hospital?
That's for health?
Yes, yes.
So can you please tee up the person from the health? Is there any other health questions coming through? I have some health issues also to be raised in terms of broken X-ray machines. Is the blood count machine not working with the rise of HIV? That could be that may be an issue. And I think the mental health care to add to the disability. Do we have the person from health lined up on Zoom? While we're teeing them up to answer those questions, can we have the next issue to be asked, please?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you to the organizers for creating this space for open dialogue between the Savusavu community and our government representatives.
The mental health care to add to the disability. Do we have the person from health lined up on Zoom? While we're teeing them up to answer those questions, can we have the next issue to be asked? Are we having some technical issues? We'll sort them out. Can you hold on with the question, please? Sure.
Can you hear me, Stan?
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Yes. Who is? Yeah, we can hear you clearly. Binawalew.
And thank you to the organizers for creating this space for open dialogue between the Savusavu.
Can you hear me?
Please continue with the response, please.
Are we having some technical issues? Sort them out?
Yeah, sorry. The question on accessibility to stress management at the Savusavu Hospital. Thank you for highlighting a very, very important issue. It's an issue that is, I think, this one cut through all government sectors on the various issues that face our people, from domestic violence. Now we are on drugs. Savusavu Hospital is a subdivisional hospital. Stress on its own, we have a stress management team here in Lambasa, and they do have visits to Savusavu on their schedules. On these scheduled visits, they do have they do manage stress cases that are referred to our Savusavu team. Stress itself is it's managed by a specialized team, which is based in Suva. However, at the various health facility, whether in Savusavu, Natewa, or Naweni, our team are already trained on some certain levels of management of stress that they can offer. However, for Savusavu, which the question that has been raised today, when you dwell with stress management, you need a clinical space, you need specialized people. And the Savusavu Hospital at the moment not cater for that at this time, but we offer outreach services for people that need those care.
Yeah, this is Divisional Medical Officer Northern Stanley, Dr. Tevita Goriniasi. Any other questions on health?
Yeah, about the equipment, X-ray machines and these blood counter machines. You know, we are hearing that some of it there's no access there, and maybe there's yeah. Graham, can you please raise your issues there?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask
Please introduce yourself.
Graham Haynes, resident of Savusavu. We spent a lot of time at the hospital. Just lately we brought in 36 beds for hospitals in Savusavu, in Lau, in Tukavesi. And I'm just wondering, getting supplies to the hospital is a big problem. We don't have Ventolin available. We have to put in and buy it for the hospital. We didn't have saline solution. We spent $1,000 buying it for the hospital. The public should not have to be doing this. And I just want to know what is wrong with the mechanism from when the hospital needs it to getting it supplied from Suva. There seems to be a problem in the chain of command or something. Yeah, that's my question. Thank you.
Can we have the response, please?
Buying it for the hospital.
The public should not have to be doing this.
Thank you for the...
It's wrong with the mechanism from when the hospital needs it to getting it supplied from Suva. There seems to be a problem in the chain of command or something. That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you for the question on supply. The Ministry of Health is a FPBS unit which deals with our supply chain all throughout Fiji. So lately, the Ministry of Health has opened a storage center in Lambasa, which that will somehow assist the Ministry of Health in the north in its supply chain. The current issue that is currently faced with stockouts of medication, as rightly mentioned tonight, this is some of our items are out of stock for about 1 month, some are 2 to 3 months, the various ranges of items. These items are, we have a M supply system that monitors the various supplies in our various health facility. And there's a chain of command in the M supply system to indicate which health facility is low and which kind of items that are low in stocks. So we can share from other nearby health facility, or it's supplied from our main FPBS center in Suva. At this stage, we have some out of stock of items, high blood pressure medication, and some others, in which we continue to send across to our suppliers. I think the FPBS in Suva, main supplier, they have their process of procurement, which somehow is a challenge because these are items that we need to take from abroad, and it takes time for items to reach our stores. When we reach this stage, I think the doctors or nurses on the ground, they have to resort to other options that they can continue to manage their cases. In terms of Savusavu Hospital equipments, I think this was initially raised by the Savusavu community related to X-ray machine. We were able to reposition our X-ray machine soon after. And then I think the X-ray machine gave way again. At this stage, we are waiting for the new X-ray machine, Savusavu Hospital, and well, it will. We've been advised that it will. The FPBS team is still going through their procurement, not only for the Savusavu unit, other health facilities along with it, so that we can get a new unit to Savusavu Hospital. Thank you.
Thank you. We apologize. I think there's some delay in the transmission that's affecting it. But maybe we'll take 2 more questions on health, and then he can respond right at the end. But I think the situation that we're facing with lack of supplies and the equipment is unacceptable, and it's something that the ministry needs to really seriously look at, and how they address this, because I think this has been another recurring issue. Apart from some of the road issues, another one is the health services that's been ongoing for many decades. And I think it's just, I think everyone has the right to this, to proper health care under our constitution. And we hope that the Ministry of Health, and I think the pressure now is the media and the public to hold the Ministry of Health accountable about this shortage and keep this monitoring going. We'll take 2 more questions on health, and then we'll move on to one more on health, and 2 more, and then we'll move on to other areas.
Good evening. My name is Emosi. I'm a resident of Savusavu. My question is the quality of people we have on the ground in hospitals. Last year I had an accident. I was crashed by 2 boats. I went to Savusavu Hospital, and they told me that the X-ray machine was down, so I had to drive myself to Lambasa. I went to the hospital, had an X-ray, and they told me just bruised ribs. I couldn't sleep. And the next morning I had to go to a private doctor, Zans Medical, and they proved to me that I had 2 broken ribs. My question is, how's the quality of people we have on the ground? Thank you, sir.
Can we have the next question on health, and we'll get the... Yeah.
Good evening, sir. My name is Loata from Nukumbalavu village. I want to raise an issue from Savusavu Hospital. I experienced that last month during the death of my sister-in-law. It was a death on arrival. And I want to raise the issue on the mortuary. It can only cater for 8 people. What about the people of Savusavu? Eat a poisonous food, and everybody got sick and die. Where will the bodies go to? So my question, when is the mortuary in Savusavu will be upgraded to a bigger space, and what is the plan? Thank you.
2 questions there for the health ministry. One is the quality of the professionals that we have, and again, the issue of facilities. And the word that keeps coming again here tonight, plans. Do we have plans, and how many plans do we need to have, and how do we get to the implementation of the plan?
Stanley, just another one on health. We also have messages coming in from online. This is from Paul Peters Hazelman. He says, what Savusavu Hospital needs is a new mortuary. We've had incidents where there's a breakdown and bodies begin to decay and stink.
To the representative from the Ministry of Health, please.
Facilities. The word that keeps coming again here tonight, plans. Do we have plans, and how many plans do we need to have, and how do we get to the implementation of the plan? Quickly, just another one on health. We also have messages coming in from online. This is from Paul Peters Hazelman. He says, what Savusavu Hospital needs is a new mortuary. We've had incidents where there's a breakdown and bodies begin to decay and stink. To the representative Ministry of Health. The word that comes again is plans. Do we have plans, and how many plans do we need to have, and how do we get to the implementation? Okay, just another one on health. We also have messages coming in from online. This is from Paul Peters Hazelman. He said, what Savusavu Hospital needs is a new mortuary. We've had incidents where there's a breakdown and bodies begin to decay and stink. To the representative Ministry of Health.
Hello. So can you hear me?
Spokesperson from the Ministry of Health, please.
Yes. Thank you, Stan, for the 2 issues that have been highlighted again tonight. I think first is the issue that were raised by the gentleman on the training on people that on his referral from Savusavu to Lambasa and to Dance. I think all the doctors and nurses in Savusavu, they have gone through their training. Is why they are based in those facilities. And this continuous line of communication with the specialists in Lambasa in dealing with different medical cases. And there are various platforms that they share information in dealing with patients that come through their doorstep. And this is an ongoing review of cases. If it has come through and there was issues that they need to look at how the cases are managed. And this is communicated to the referral team. The current referral process is ongoing. Because Savusavu is a subdivisional hospital. Any cases that need to be managed in Lambasa, it follows through the referral processes. With the second issue raised by the lady on the issue on mortuary, we're so thankful for government. I think a recent announcement of budget, government will extend on a number of mortuaries that to lessen the burden on Savusavu. This is some areas that are currently covered by EFL. We look at the corner of Savusavu Wele West in Korobatu. There'll be another identified location is Naweni. Once this new MOG comes in, it will somehow lessen the burden on the 8 units currently in Savusavu. We have our monitoring system for all the MOG in Nolevu daily. It's the temperature, whether analog or digital monitoring. This is communicated to us daily, and it comes to our table just so that we can address any escalation of temperatures on any of our units, so that technicians are sent to address them right then on the same day. This is because of issues that has happened previously on some of our facilities across Fiji that has been raised today on decaying bodies. The monitoring system is in place, and so far it has worked on how we respond to any change of temperature control in the current setup. Thank you, Naka.
Thank you very much. The various delays is we're going live to various media houses' feeds, so they're all taking their turn coming back to us. We will move to tourism. We'll move to tourism, and I'll ask that, is the Director of Tourism on Zoom? Yes? Okay, we'll ask 5 questions on tourism, and they'll respond. We'll ask her to respond at one time, so we avoid the feeds. Your airport one can come to it after the tourism. Thank you.
We have to take them all the way to Lombasa.
Okay, can you ask? Yeah. Mike? Okay, yeah, wait. I'll go to...
Thank you. I just want to raise a question on Fiji Airways. We have suffered enough traveling from Savusavu to Suva. There are only 3 flights in a week, Monday, Wednesday, and I think on Saturday. And I think they have a monopoly on Fiji Airways because the price is too extravagant. I'd rather fly to New Zealand or to fly to Suva. So what I do, I go on the boat, the ferry, which is only $65. You go on Air Pacific or Fiji Airways, it's about $280 to $300 one way. Who can afford that in Savusavu? There's not very many people that can do that. So I want to ask Fiji Airways, how can you help Savusavu do a better job on transporting people between Savusavu and Suva, or get another airline like we had? What did you have in here before? Sunflower or the other one? I mean, that Northern Air. Not Northern Air. Northern Air. I mean, a lot of people here are bold. Northern Air. Northern Air used to charge only about, what, $130 to go to Suva and $130 back. Compared to now, you have to be prepared to pay about $300 or $400. Thank you.
We get the point. Thank you. Next question.
So good evening, everyone, and thank you to the organizers for creating this space for open dialogue between Savusavu community and our government representatives. I'm here this evening on behalf of Corporate Shed Marina, and my name is Dolly Singh. Corporate Shed Marina is a heritage institution that has proudly served the Savusavu community and visiting marinas for decades. As a business rooted in our town's history and economy, we feel a responsibility to speak when we see development unfolding in ways to raise serious concerns. In particular, we wish to highlight the issues surrounding the recent lease development activity at Naui Island. Earlier this year, 8 of our registered moorings were deliberately and illegally cut and removed by representatives of Naui Island Marina, 4 of which had vessels secured to them at the time. These boats were untied without consent, towed to Naui Island and left unattended. This wasn't only costly, it was a dangerous exercise. These moorings have been in place for over 30 years and are registered with MSF under Corporate Marina. We reported this matter to Savusavu police, and it has even been covered by the national media. Yet, to date, we have received no update. And it remains unclear why no actions has been taken. What's happening? That's our question, what's happening? Naui claims the moorings were within their foreshore lease, but we understand the lease was only issued in 2023, and that the area leased was significantly larger than the proportion publicly consulted on. That raises real questions about process and transparency. We are also concerned that this lease was issued within a registered harbour area, which may not be legally permissible without special approvals or exemptions. Please don't take us wrong. To be clear, we are not against development here. We welcome investment, but we believe that development must be transparent, consultative, and respectful to those who have been contributing to this community, long contributing to this community. So we respectfully ask 3 questions here. Our question 1, why was this lease issued over a larger area than the one consulted on? Our question 2 is, why was there been no action or even a formal update on a mooring incident despite a police report and national media coverage? Our final question, and how are decisions being made about Savusavu's future without adequately involving its people? Thank you.
Thank you. So I think part of that is a lands issue that we can follow up tomorrow, but I think there's a complaint with the police at the moment. Is there a complaint with the police, did you say?
Yes.
I think.
Yes, there is.
I think you had a meeting with the officer in charge of Savusavu?
Correct. We're still waiting on updates.
Okay. They will get you the required update. Thank you.
Any response to Commissioner Divisional Project Officer on that?
For the question, for the development of Naui, it started off in, I remember in 2018, where there was a consultation that went through continuously, and it went through a process of itself through relevant departments, environment, local government, and also the town council. So for any objections, there are periods of certain period of time to object it. Probably for Dolly, if they could probably write to us or write to environment or any specific departments, that we can address that, address the issue for that. But again, thanking Dolly for raising that up. But there was a robust consultation been happening from then. I was part of that team that went through, and we did meet fortnightly just to go and inspect with relevant technical officers. Then it went through a process of itself.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm actually told that representative from the Ministry of Lands is here, and we have environment also online. So I know we've Lands and Environment have hijacked a bit of tourism, but can we just address this issue? Is the representative of Lands, can you respond to?
I'm William Iwanga, the Divisional Land Manager, Northern. This is my first month here at Lambasa office, but we've received that letter. And unfortunately, in our Northern Division, we don't have a foreshore section in our Northern Division. We have a dedicated foreshore division in Suva, in our HQ. And on these issues, it's quite complex issue. And we've convened a meeting with the Ports Authority, MSF, together with our officers, looking at the issuance of that lease. We admitted that Yes, they were correct. And we are working on rectifying it, especially on that lease. Following that, I'm just returned from Suva today, from Lambasa, straight here, from the airport, straight here. Knowing that we will have to answer a few questions from Savusavu. But we've convened a meeting, and we are trying to address that issue collectively with our stakeholders from the Fiji ports, knowing the passageway for the yacht, and MSF. We will again convene a meeting soon to try and rectify that issue. That's the update for now, and we promise that we will address that issue.
Can we have, Dolly, do you have a response to that? Just a quick one, 1 minute.
Thank you, Department of Lands. Now that they have admitted that the lease was incorrectly issued, our question is, how are they going to fix the problem? How are we going to get our 8 moorings back? We have lost our income, and we seek clarification on that and probably a quicker action, because this is our seasonal time of the year, and yachts are coming, calling us. They've pre-booked, and there's no space. We have to put them on. Thank you.
Thank you for the mooring. We are also talking with MSF, because they're responsible with that, and trying to resolve that as soon as possible. Thank you.
Maybe another area where development has progressed ahead of the legislations required is the environment.
Just additional comment, returning from Suva. I've started a consultation that we should have a FOSOA officer based here, so that we can have a proper communication with our division, with our dedicated section in division in Suva, which we are looking at that in the next financial year. Thank you.
That is a great development.
Steadily, one housing issue here.
Yeah. Sorry, just before we continue, is the environment teed up?
Yeah, Team Environment is online.
Okay.
Permanent Secretary Environment Climate Change online here.
Yeah, I think some issues was raised about some of the environment issues from that question about how the approval was given. If you can outline some of the approvals and the process that's required for the, like, for instance, the Naui project.
Sorry, can you please repeat the whole question? I just came on when the question was, I did not hear the question earlier.
Dolly, would you like to repeat the question on the environment? Did you have that part, or did I hear you wrongly?
I didn't have any
question,
but our concerns were...
I think a general question, Dr. Michael, this is Vijay Narayan. A general question is the process of environmental impact assessments, public consultations before projects are approved. That has been coming through in relation to how projects are being approved.
Okay, thank you, Vijay. So the problem for the question for environmental impact assessment, so for all developments in Fiji, including foreshore leases, there is a requirement for environmental impact assessment screening. Every applicant, whether it's DTCP or whether it's lands or whether it's from the councils, they have a requirement as a statutory authority to require a screening process to determine whether an environmental impact assessment is required or not. In this stage, the team will screen the documents that are provided and determine whether, for example, an environmental management plan, a construction environmental management plan, or operational environmental management plan, or even a determination with conditions can be issued. Should an EIA be required, environmental impact assessment be required, a terms of reference would have to be prepared for which scope of environmental impact assessment is required, because it differs for sector to sector. Say, for example, for mining and for gravel extraction, there will be different types of gravel extraction, surface extraction or foreshore extraction. And based on that, we will have to work with the different stakeholders to ascertain the type of impact assessments that is required, whether it's for biodiversity, whether it's on volumes that is supposed to be reported and so forth, and the water quality test to ascertain that the downstream communities are not affected. And so that terms of reference process is, once it's paid for, and the consultant independent, need to make it clear that a registered independent EIA consultant based on the list that is provided through the Department of Environment is to conduct the EIA. If a EIA is done by any other consultant apart from those that is not accredited, the EIA report is not accepted. So you have to use a registered consultant within that has met the criteria, and that is within the list of the department or the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change.
Can I
Once
just cut
that
in?
is
Can
done,
I just
there
cut?
is then a process of a technical working committee. The technical working committee will then approve or reject the report of a EIA. And if it's approved with what conditions, those will be relayed to the proponent or the developer or the investor at the end of the day.
Thank you for
Now
that.
you must know
Thank you for that. Can we
public?
Can we have it?
You have. Sorry.
Can we just cut the question short because we need to move on and it's after 9. Or have detail, yes or no? All those conditions met with the development at Naui. I think that's what everyone needs to know.
Sorry, I can't hear the question again.
Were all those conditions met and followed with the development at Naui? I think that's the crux
Yes,
of
all
the
the
matter.
conditions for Naui were met. Naui had a condition on replanting the mangroves that was being monitored. That has been monitored physically as well. And so we had some back and forth with Naui in terms of fulfilling the conditions. Then there was a deed that was signed for the growth of the mangrove, and that is currently being monitored as I speak.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry we have to move on. Plenty issues to touch, but we're running out of time.
Naui is important, they're saying, so...
Sorry, I think, Dorothy, we've got too much time on this. We'll have to move on to another area. We'll have to move on to another question. Another question, sorry. Can we have housing?
Good evening, people. My name is Dimles, and I'm from Nangere, work in a retail sector, originally from Suva. I've been here in Savusavu for one year, and the major issue that I have noted while staying in Nangere, and while talking about the poor, majority of our population is living below the poverty line. And what is the government doing about the housing facilities? I will direct my focus on PRV flats. A similar issue that happened in Langi housing back in Suva. And I have a feeling that same thing is happening here in Savusavu, whereby we are depriving the poor to rest in that PRV flats, whereas taxi proprietors, canteen owners, people can afford 2 cars parked right in front of the PRV flats are staying in those flats. This is the fact. I've got proofs, and I've already written to the Deputy PM asking for these answers. Because it's said we are talking about tourism, we are talking about infrastructure, but what about the poverty? Poor people. In primary school, we used to learn the basics, the needs and the wants. What is our need and what is our want? Car is a want, our need is a shelter. No proper shelter for the poor. Sole income people are struggling out there, renting in a house valued at $300, $350. Whereas the taxi proprietors, earning an income of about $500, $600 a week, can afford to stay in PRV flats. What was the PRV flats meant for? And is it saving the purpose? How are they going to do it? Evaluate and review whether they still have got the right to stay there or they need to move out. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone from the housing in Savusavu? Otherwise, please join List That's Story to follow up this week. While you're here in Savusavu, you can visit that area. I think we have the Director of Tourism online to respond to the airfares, which which is a key challenge for tourism in Savusavu as well.
Was that able to hear?
Yes, continue.
Thank you, thank you. So I'm from Vanuatu and I can feel the madam's remarks earlier on the pricing of Fiji Airways, Fiji Link for that matter. And just to clarify very quickly, I mean, there are no limitations to any airlines going into Savusavu. Under the Nabaliku project, we have some investment projects for aviation in general, for the airports, and I think this was already mentioned. At the moment, we are looking at upgrades to both Lambasa and Savusavu, but just to save time as well, at the moment, there is no international airports planned for Savusavu or Vanuatu for that matter, not in the next 10 years at least, 10 to 20 years forecast. So the idea is to upgrade the two airports in the interim whilst we look at a new domestic airport, which is in close proximity to Savusavu. Some of the feasibility studies have begun, and the idea, I think, is really to increase the frequency of flights into Savusavu and Lambasa so that the prices can be more competitive, and not just increase the frequency, but to have the ability to have larger aircrafts go into Savusavu so that they're able to, again, help with the pricing. At the moment, government, as you know, we're not able to dictate the pricing, but we do recognize that's a very sensitive ongoing matter. And we hope that over the years, as we put in those investments into Savusavu and Lambasa, as well as Taviuni, that we can see some of the prices being more competitive, not just for tourists, but for our own people, Naka.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Aaron, I'll give you 2 minutes on the airport.
Yes.
And Dolly, I'll give you 1 minute on what you wanted to ask. I've got enough time now.
Good. Director of Tourism, I'm glad you're online. I'm going to refer to the report that was produced by iOS Partners, presented to the Honourable Minister William Gavoka on the 7th of September 2023, called Enhancing Air Connectivity in Vanuatu. This report was only released just in June of this year at the Navualiku meeting, where we were all updated about the airport scope presentation. Now, the interesting thing was that the 2023 report that went to the Minister, that wasn't sort of publicly released, it talked about exactly what the Director of Tourism said, upgrading airports and enhancing air connectivity, more people coming in, and it identified the criteria for identification phase for this new airport for Savusavu, and it said it should be 30 to 45 minutes drive from Savusavu and from main areas along the Buddha Bay Road, which is, we know as the Hibiscus Highway. And it talked about a minimum airport area for a 1,200 metre long runway. And it actually then identified 3 sites, the final selected sites for a domestic airport. And these 3 sites were actually called, one was at Tadilevu, one was at Vunalangi, and one was at Kasavu, which are all fairly close to each other along the Hibiscus Highway. And that report there's no other sites identified. Now, when we had this recent update in June of 2025, all of a sudden there's a new airport added into the list. And now we're talking about the status update assessment of 4 shortlisted sites, being the same 3 sites in what they call Valley Level, the same 3 sites along the Hibiscus Highway, but also Nasarawanga, which is up towards, where we all know it's towards Bua. And now, that Nasarawanga is 1.5 hours drive from Savusavu. And what the people here may not know is that the Navualiku program, which is lending the money to the Fiji government for this new airport, under that plan is that once this new airport is built, the Savusavu airport will be closed, because it's not economically feasible to have 2 airports. Now, I have a lot of connections in the tourism industry with investors and developers and resorts people and so on. And I think generally there's an acceptance of, okay, if the new airport is going down at Tadilevu or Vunalangi or Kasavu along that Hibiscus Highway, that's a good thing. It's 35, 40 minutes drive on a tar-sealed road. There's lots of beaches and lots of potential tourism development. It's not that far away. But if the new airport goes to Nasarawanga, that's going to be the death knell for tourism in Vanuatu or in Savusavu. And my question is, where did this come from, and why is the government allowing the Navualiku to waste time on assessing the Sarawanga as one of the 4 potential sites? That should be crossed out.
You're saying it defeats the purpose, sir? No, hold on. I will. Case tourism director, do you have any response for that? Is there someone from the Vualiku project here?
I do. Just be very short. Thank you very much for the question. I know that's the proximity of any airport, having it close to the tourism, at least tourism hotspots, is extremely important, and we recognize that. But I can confirm at the moment that none of these sites have been confirmed. So whether it's Nasarawanga or which other ones, we still have a tentative list of sites that will need to be validated further with relevant agencies, including the stakeholders, because of the technical specifications. But for now, I can confirm that sites have not been selected. They are still tentative, and there's still additional sites being explored. And once these sites are narrowed down further, then there will be consultations to ensure that the people on Vanuatu and our tourism stakeholders are involved in that decision.
Thank you. But you get the point of Nasarawanga being out of the way, eh? And not meeting that criteria that was that's being set out. At least from what Ranesh showed us. We'll have to check and verify it. Is it something related?
Yes.
Okay,
Something
very quickly.
in relation to this. What I asked was the monopoly, Fiji Airways, on airfares.
Okay.
And flights coming in. There are only 3 flights in and out of Savusavu in a week. That hasn't been answered. And the price of flights is too expensive. That hasn't been answered. Now we're talking about airports. We are looking at least another 12 years. So why can't we concentrate on what we have at the moment? Don't monopolize the Fiji Airways. Get some more aircraft to fly in, like Vanua Air.
Good point.
Thank you.
Any quick response to that? Is that being explored? Because, I mean, it's affecting tourism in the north, in Savusavu, isn't it, Director?
Sorry, Stanley, I could not hear I think it was on Fiji Airways, the cost of tickets for Fiji Airways, and why we are looking long haul, having not resolved the current issues. Is that correct?
Yeah, the cost and the regularity of the flights. It's
okay.
Is that being?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, just to add on to what I previously mentioned as well. We really, I know longer term, we really want to add in more flights in the short term. Even if a new airport comes at the moment, Savusavu Airport will continue, so we won't shut down that airport just to have the new one come in. So at the moment, again, the most immediate priority at the moment is to get more flights into Vanuatu, and that's why these upgrades being happening to both Savusavu and Lambasa.
So more flights and cheaper airfares possible, or we have to live
I'm
with
not
it?
sure Fiji is on Kolo Airport.
Thank you. Dolly, 30 seconds now. Dolly, you wanted a response? That issue. Were you responding to Lance or something?
Sorry, so our question to Lance was there a EIA done in regards to the issuance of the 4 Shoalies?
Okay, thank you. And my final question also to Lance, so Lance may have the last say today, is someone just sent me a question on the state lands reverting to E-Tokay lands and that process that's underway. If you can clarify that, and I think that will round off our show. I'm sorry we didn't get to your issues in details, but it's a start. And we hope to really follow up on some of these key issues with some good stories coming out of here.
Vinaka, yes, on the issuance of Nawi 4 Shoalies, there was a EIA undertaken. and the process was followed. But it's just a matter of finalizing the area that we are really looking at reconsidering that, and also trying to negotiate and talk with MSF together with Fiji Ports. Yes, but EIA was done. But the reverting of state land, right now we are looking at only the freehold land back to native land, and not state land. Yeah, but freehold land. The first criteria is willing buyer and willing seller, because we know all freehold lands were registered, and the government comes into the next financial year's budget to facilitate the financial aspect of reverting. To have that, it's a form of a loan, but with no interest. The government will pay for the land, but the landowners will have to repay back the government on a term with no interest. But yes, we are accepting interest coming in for if they are thinking of and looking at the population growth together with the land available to them, and if that land is formerly theirs, was formerly theirs, then we have to carry out a thorough research on that and looking at the ratio of population to the land that they are having now, the native land, and see the need. If there's a need for them to get more land, then we'll have to allocate that to the landowners. So that's basically on that free buyback scheme that we are going to implement in the next financial year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right. I'll take that last one.
I'm sorry, I'll talk in Fijian. Adango Bonifazio Recalo, na koro otigo indala na vangingi, na vanua ne yaroi. Na taronga uvia kotamai, to etolu na kamba ningoro to volita kingele tiko iviti. Na real estate, Southeast Land Limited, Kina Bailey Trust. Orto kambani ni matani tuiviti, se mai babalangi, serto register ni voleta kingele iviti, se babalangi. Baleta, ni tungele tiko bola ngango itauni, yana kakito wakila tiko, ni senga ni kawaita ke na consent ni tauke ningele. Sa wakaya bi woli tunga orangana rawatan bega non title sena sambuto kana ira na tauke ningele. Kini bakareta ki na veko rosa red bank tu ni kuwa. Asini vo indono nangele. Kito yeroi ruana undolu limanan rau vitsang buluka tolu naika sabongan go ruana rau kawalu naika. To senikila na ngona dava kito sana bakatalai kine waitui. Kena lebsak.
Also na kira Lens talakira ni. Lens, can you please look into that issue about the process?
Yeah, vina karena natamba ninggel matentu inggarabang ninggel ngani matentu natamba ninggel ba itu kir tunggarabat sukuna itu land transport. Nindari da baka pasyente kita itu lucu ngana pasyente. wanangeli vich tudok kin balambale na rereya nga manandola na songoni muri mertu chiktal na itu na TLTP merau ni ratu na semitaro wana tambana ni ngele vaitoki wakaboke baka freehold
Duangana kerkere. Rambekangani ivakamatala ni angele kedengani tauke sa native land. Ngai mai buki bagadava. Mengele ni matanitu. Kwa sala ko tungo sinikila orto ni tauke ni ngele na kasala ka tigo no tungele. No value.
Na value boklan do talno pinaka. There'll be a long discussion, which we need to take into effect on another time. But thank you for raising that. That's a key issue, how some native landowners are losing access to their lands and running out of the lands for their livelihoods. That's been quite a show, Savusavu. Thank you for turning up to the Savusavu community. And yeah, give yourselves a hand. And really sincere appreciation to the Assistant Minister for Works and Transport. Nice to meet you. Thank you, sir, for being the first minister to grace this process and the bravery you showed to turn up tonight. Thank you also to my OB, the Acting Commissioner of Police, Aporo Salute Nounga. Thank you for taking the time, and please convey the thanks to the Commissioner for allowing you to come over. The Commissioner Northern, Pinavalevu sir, for making the trip down from Lambasa and making it, being with us so we know the challenges that you face to physically be here with us. Divisional Project Officer, thank you very much for turning up also. This is important now that we have government officials that heed the calls of the people and turn up and respond directly to their concerns. To the South Town Council administrators, Shiv Shankar Singh, Shiv Dayal Sharma, and the Town Council Acting CEO Nilesh Chand, thank you also for your presence. To all of you who've turned up with your comments and your questions and your passion, we really appreciate it. And also thank you to the representative from the statutory bodies, Fiji Roads Authority, Water, and the others who've turned up this evening. Tomorrow night, Vijay Narayan and Litya Vijay Narayan of Communications Fiji Limited and Litya Dava of the Fiji Broadcasting Corporation will be hosting the town hall. That will be featuring Honorable Minister for the Finance, Biman Prasad, and other ministers. I'm sure Naisa will also make his way over. So if you're not satisfied with tonight, we can always meet in Lambasa tomorrow. But from the Fijian Media Association team, a crew of 16 that's turned up, the production team at the back, and the editors and senior journalists tonight, thank you very much, and Nisamode.